Hi, I'm Bruce from LUXBMX, and if you have ever considered buying a race bike from us online and having it shipped to you, we're going to show you how to build it out of the box today. So, what will you need to build your bike? You'll need some basic tools that you'll find around the house. Most people will have them. There'll be some Allen keys, a shifter, you need some grease, and a floor pump. First step is to pull the bike out of the box. Use the side cutters to cut the strapping around the box. Open the box up, pull the bike out. You'll find that it's mostly all wrapped up together. There might be another box in the bike box itself. I'll have a few extra parts like the pedals that you'll need to bolt to the cranks. Once you've got it out of the box, place it down on the floor and start unwrapping it. With most BMX bikes, including these race bikes, they're pretty simple to put together. First step is to remove the stem bolts and the face plate. Apply grease to the threads of the stem. Place the bars in the cradle and replace the face plate. What you want to do here is make sure you tighten these bolts evenly across the plate to ensure that you don't tighten down the rear of the plate or the front of the plate. The next step is to install the seat and seat post into the frame. Simply apply some grease to the inside of the seat tube, slide in the post and tighten up the clamp. On the race bike it's quite simple, it's a quick release seat clamp on these things, so just simply close the clamp off. Now we're ready for the next step, which is to install the front wheel. Take the bike and flip it up on the bars and the seat and take the bolts out of the front wheel, apply a bit of grease to these. Put them back in the wheel and locate them in the fork, taking care to tighten up the bolts evenly each side. So, we're on to putting the pedals into the cranks. One thing to note here is that there's a left pedal and a right pedal. Usually on the pedals themselves they have a small L or a R, and you want to make sure these go in the right crank. You don't need to be super tight, but nor do you want these to be loose. So the last thing you want is your pedal coming off your bike. Now, once the pedals are in, we're going to flip the bike back up onto its wheels and tighten up the stem, checking that the alignment of the stem and the front wheel is spot on. You can do this by standing over the bike, putting your feet either side of the front wheel and just moving the bars until you see the stem aligned with the front wheel. Once you have the tyre lined up with the stem, now you want to tighten this compression bolt on the top of the fork. Simply take the Allen key and tighten this bolt until you don't feel any movement in the handlebars. Pick the bike up off the ground, the front wheel, and let the wheels rotate, the forks, and make sure you've got enough movement there. You don't want it too tight, nor do you want it loose. Next thing you check is the brake lever. Give the lever a squeeze 1 or 2 times to feel you've got nice pressure. In this case it's a disc system, so just want to check the pads aren't rubbing, so pick up the back of the bike and just give the back wheel a spin to make sure it's nice and free. Give the lever a couple more pumps to see how those brakes work, and then put the bike back down on the ground. Once you've got the bike back down on the ground, it's time to pump up the tyres. The manufacturer has recommendations of the pressure, so check the side of the tyre, it'll usually be written on there. Grab your pump, put some air in those tyres, looking at the gauge, make sure you've got the right pressure. Give them a squeeze with your thumb, that's what I like to do. Again, it's a little bit of a personal preference whether you run them lower or higher. From here, it's just simple nut and bolt check around the bike. They come from the factory pretty well put together, but we just want to make sure that everything's nice and tight. So from checking the axle bolts or nuts on the rear wheel to The front wheel again that you just put in, and the pedals, everything, just to make sure you've remembered to do everything we've just gone through. And that's it, you've built a race bike out of the box. If you have any questions on any steps in the process of building your bike, feel free to hit us up. Give us a call, shoot us a message. We're more than happy to talk you through any points that you might have got stuck on.